Hello guys, this is going to be my first Q&A question video I've ever done before. And if you want to participate in this type of video, you can also join the Discord server, link in the description. You can ask any question as long as it's respectful to your peers, fellow people in the server. It's good. So yeah, I can start off by answering the questions now. So from Duck Freaky, which country are you from? I'm from Canada. Okay. The second question, getting a bit freaky here, from Gravity Pines. How many inches are you packing? So for that question, I actually don't really understand what he means by packing, but probably like I've never measured it, so I'm not sure. And once again, from Gravity Pines, he's asking for my home address. Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, I try to answer these questions as honest as I can, but home address is just too much. I can tell you, I live in Canada. There. So next question, from Duck Freaky. So are you heterosexual? Yes. Yes, I'm straight. Yes. Okay, dogs or cats? Okay, dogs. What's your type? In terms of maybe like people, it's kind of broad, but I'm assuming that he's talking about like relationships, which in terms, I have no relationship, like I've never had a relationship, so probably, I'm not sure, but from intuition, probably someone that looks nice, obviously, so maybe that answers your question. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. I guess we'll move on to the next question. So, do you like goth mommies? Before, I saw the question, I was wondering, like, what the heck is a goth mommy? So I went online and started searching, and the images I saw was like, I'm not sure, like, they kind of look like they, the Satanist cultists or something. It's kind of, so I'm kind of scared of like demons and stuff, so probably not. So the next question is, do you watch any anime? Yes, I do. And what animes do you watch? What series do you watch? So I watch Overlord, I watch The Gate, they're both anime, and I've watched, I think, Goblin Slayer, but I haven't finished it. So but Overlord is really good. I watched it like a few times, all the series, like every season I watched it like multiple times. So yeah, I do like that. But usually I don't watch any anime, so but that one is exception since it's so good, especially from I think season 2 onwards or season 3 onwards. It was really good. So I will, okay, yeah, that's all the questions from him, from Duck Freaky. So next question from General Harris Bread. When help me do scary game? Well, I'm not 100% sure since he just brought it up yesterday, so probably never, since I don't really know the game he's working on or anything about the game, so probably never. I'm sorry, but yeah. So now so moving on to the next question, which we have like a bunch. So would you rather have a thud daughter or a gay son? Actually, when I saw this question, I went online to search what a thug daughter is. And if you don't know, it's a daughter, it's a person that has a lot of casual relationships, as long as, from my research. Like, yeah, so between these two choices, I'll probably pick the first one since it's, at least they're straight, so I'm sorry for anyone that is in the LGBT community, but that's just my choice, so yeah. And also, from the statistic, I don't think anyone is in that category watching my videos. Like, yeah. Do you play sports? The next question is, do you play any sports? Well, I think I have not played any sports. Okay, I don't play sports. I'm not athletic. I'm a nerd kind of guy. But I've been on like track and field before, like for long distance runs. But that was when I was in elementary school, like on the 8th grade or something, and then I just didn't do any sports in high school. And once I entered university, I didn't do any sports either. So yeah. Favorite game? I don't. Okay, I can say Skyrim. Skyrim is my favorite game so far. Favorite Roblox game? I think it will be, since I haven't played a Roblox game for so long, like, I'm supposed to, for research purposes, so I can develop good games, but I don't have a favorite Roblox game. Or best Roblox game I mean, that's the next question, but favorite Roblox game, I don't have one, I'm sorry. Best game you've played? Let's see, I I did play like a lot of strategy games like Hearts of Iron and stuff, but I suck at it. I keep dying. Even playing like as Germany, I just get destroyed by the Soviet Union. But I think the best game I've played so far would be probably Skyrim, with all the mods. Like the mod just is so good. If you have so much mods, it's like a different game. So probably Skyrim. Okay, favorite model you've made? Probably like a recent model I've made, which is a SVD model. You can, if you join my server, you can see it in the announcements. I posted it, so it's like, I can go to announcements to show you. Announcements, I think I posted it here. If you open big screen, you can see, it's this model. It wasn't for any project, it was like a portfolio piece. I was actually thinking, since I got contacted by some people, since I also made 3D modeling videos for like a different channel, or on a different platform other than YouTube, and they like some people contacted me. It was like some company wanted me to make some videos for them for like teaching purposes. So I needed to create something that was like good looking and I can teach it. So I made that model for the teaching purposes. Now I kind of regret it since I have to recreate that thing, but I actually finished most of it already, so it's fine. Favorite Roblox game, favorite model you've made, best models you've made, best model I've made. I can say that model was the best model I've made, okay? So I can't think of any, since I keep making like repetitive models for like characters. They do pay you really well, but they're not as like cool looking. So that's probably the best model I've made in terms of like looks. Is water dry or wet? Well, water is wet. The case is sealed. The water is wet, because when something is soaked in water, which is just filled with, like, has a lot of water in it, then it's wet. If there's water like covering it, then it's wet. Then water is covering water, which it's wet. So yeah, yeah, that's that for that question. Next question is, do you gamble? Yes, I gamble my life savings so I can get the thrill of losing everything. Like real life gambling, I'm probably not old enough to do it. So it's probably like illegal or something. I'm not sure. Like real gambling, I've never done. Gambling, like, I mean, I do make risky decisions. If that's gambling, then I probably gamble a lot, since I make a lot of risky decisions. But if you're talking about like actual gambling with like money and stuff, then probably no, I don't gamble. And also, I don't suggest anyone gambling, because you could lose everything. I remember seeing a video on Instagram where someone lost everything, like even their shirt. It was so funny. I think the video was like staged. Like, it was like so funny, where that guy lost his, like, he was kind of like bulky, he was kind of fat, and he lost his upper, like his t-shirt or something, and he was screaming at the casino managers. So yeah, don't gamble, guys, don't gamble. What's your biggest red flag? Also, for this question, I was wondering what it was, a commission or is it like relationship? But like I said, I don't really have that much relationship experience. Like, I pretty much have none. I can say from my non-existing experience, probably, if they're putting on too much makeup, then it's probably not a good idea to have a relationship with them, because once they take off all of that makeup, you're gonna see a man. And what's another red flag? Biggest red flag? Probably like, at least for making those kind of friends, it's probably like how they treat other people. If they treat them like trash, then they're probably gonna treat you like trash as well in the future if you ever have a relationship with them. Yeah, so tons of makeup, and like all kind of weird makeup, like your nails are so long, they have all kind of these like weird looking tattoo-ish things. They're not tattoos, obviously, since you have to be above a certain age to have tattoos to be legal, but they're like stickers that are like black or something. And then if they have a lot of those kind of things, and they're kind of rude to people that are not in their circle, or like people they look down upon, then it's like terrible. Don't even make friends with them. No, never a relationship, because it's gonna be a terrible idea. So what's my biggest red flag in terms of commissions is they have a massive game, okay? If anyone comes to you and they say, "Oh, I'm gonna make this massive game," it's like a very big game idea, and I only have like 20% done. We need a modeler, we need a artist or whatever. Like any game, when it sounds too big, it's not going to be successful, especially when they're inexperienced. And even if they made it, since I've worked with some people that actually made their big game, there's just tons and tons of bugs, and it's so hard to like fix that they just abandon the game. And a lot of the times when they're making the game, they don't have profit in mind, so they don't create like a very good monetization system. They just create the game, and with no monetization, or like very poorly monetized. Well, if the game isn't well monetized, then the updates and stuff, it's gonna be harder to do since you have less amount of money that you can use to hire developers to fix bugs, or spending, since you have to spend money, on things, right? You're working like a job at that point. You're fixing bugs, and if you're not paid enough to yourself, it's not very good as well. So they need to have a good scope, so what their ability has, what they can actually accomplish, and so the scope, and also their abilities. Since if someone came to you, since I've seen this before, they don't have any skills. They are asking for free work. That's definitely a red flag. So big. When I started to do like development, I started making stuff. There was tons of people out there. I forgot which server. There was like some small servers. There were like a lot of people asking for free work. It's like, I don't have a story. I don't have anything done. I just want someone to help me do this work. Or I have some kind of story that I just bunched up together and just need someone to help me make this. And it was terrible, terrible, terrible. They get so much people in there, and the end result is like a piece of turd. So that's the biggest red flag. The scope is too big, biggest red flag. Also, percentage. If they have a big scope and they're only paying you percentage, then that's like, don't ever take that. And also, another red flag, also pretty big, is if a lot of people say they're a scammer, okay? I fell for this once. Don't worry about what they say, literally. So, I was looking upon, like, commissions. There's, like, servers when you can look for commissions. And there was one commission, everyone's calling him a scammer. So, I wanted to troll that person, since I knew he was probably a scammer. So, I started, like, contacting him like a victim. And, like, calling him a scammer and stuff. But he said that these people that was calling him a scammer didn't finish the work. So that's why he didn't pay. They didn't have the skills for the work, since that also happens before. Like, if you hire some people, they actually can't do the work, but ask you to pay anyways. Usually I'll pay those people, but it's not like you don't have to do it. So I thought it was like that, so I worked with him, and I got scammed. So if other people call him a scammer, he's a scammer. He blocks you right after you send him anything. So yeah, and he sells your stuff away. That's like big red flag. What's your green flag in a person is, first, they don't put so much, like, terrible amount of makeup on. That's one thing for relationships, okay? And they're kind of, what you call, like, they don't think too much when doing things, like, kind, and they don't, like, overthink things. They're kind of like a cute animal, right? They're like really kind of weak. They're not there to hurt anyone, and they're just like there. But I also want them to, and that's a green flag, because first, they don't, since they're not hiding anything with makeup, right? You can actually see what they look like. That's one thing. And also, how they treat other people is also important, because how they treat other people, if they treat people differently, depending on, like, their, like, it depends, like, how much they know them. If they treat them really well, if they know them a lot, and treat someone that is terrible, like, absolutely terrible, then treat someone else terrible because they don't know him as much, then that's no go. But if they treat everyone with respect at first, then distinguish between, like, good people and bad people, and then treat them a bit differently, but still have respect, then that's pretty good. Pretty good green flag. For the biggest green flag for a commission would be that they're willing to pay upright. Like, upright, I could pay 50% upright for your models. Then that's pretty good, since they're willing to put some money down first. Or is these people, they have big games under their belts, and they're willing to let you have a percentage. They write the percent. Usually, when they have big games and you verify that they actually have big games, then they're more likely to have big games as well. Even if they don't, they're gonna spend a lot of money on advertisement, and you can still earn a bunch from that, since you're having a percentage of the group. So yeah, and then working long term, and then it's really good. So yeah, biggest red flag I've seen in a person. I mean, first we'll go to relationship, and then we do commission. Let's see, the biggest red flag. Let's see. That's a pretty interesting question. Since I haven't really been too much in a relationship, probably it's similar as, if I were to recall a scenario or situation, it's probably, like, oh yeah, okay, I can say one. There's one person that just, they had multiple people that they were seeing in one day. That's the biggest red flag. Okay, that's the ginormous red flag I've ever seen. The biggest green flag, the biggest red flag, that's for relationship, and then for commissions, then let's see. Biggest red flag was the one that was called a scammer. Everyone's calling him a scammer because he scammed everyone. Eventually we got him banned off the server. So it was okay. And obviously the tons of free work studios. Okay, they tell you to do free work. Okay, that's just ginormous red flag. Probably like, it's so bad. It's so toxic. So that's probably the biggest red flag. What's the biggest green flag in a relationship? It's probably like when no one is looking, they're still just themselves. Still helps people. But I haven't really been watching a lot of women in my life, so that's probably the biggest green flag I've seen. And they're kind to different people, even if they're not watching. They have morals. Okay, they have morals, and also they're not dumb as well. They're not like there's some people that are really kind, but they're like super dumb. And a scammer can come by and act like some weak person, and then these people just fall for it. No, they're not dumb. They do good, but they're not dumb. Okay, that's probably like the biggest green flag that I've seen. Biggest green flag in a commission, which is basically the commissions I'm taking right now. Like, I'm working with a old client for so long, for maybe a year or over a year now, and I've just been making models for him, and he's paying me pretty good. Now he's asking me for a percentage he's giving me a percentage for his group on like a whole series of games that he's gonna be making, and all of those games I'm gonna be included. So, and he's gonna be pouring a ton of money in advertisement. So it's a guaranteed like profit for me. There's like no lose. It's just big green flag. That's for modeling. And for our next question, what's your favorite part of modeling? If you do modeling every day, there's no favorite part. You just kind of hate modeling since it's so much work, so tedious. I can tell you the worst part about modeling, like for me at least, it's the baking process. It's the texturing process. Since you're baking your computer. If you ever baked a texture that's like high resolution with like complex like shapes on it, your computer is literally like set on fire. So that's like the worst part the worst part about modeling. Favorite part of modeling? It's probably when I get the model done. That's the favorite part. The easiest part is probably just once you have a plan and you follow the plan to make the basic model. That's the easiest part. And then once you get into texturing, once you get into baking, or actually no, the easiest part is probably UV unwrapping. Just use auto UV unwrap and it's done. Unless they specifically ask you to manually UV unwrap, which they never do. So that's pretty good. So next question, what's your biggest payout from Mr. Baguette? Okay, biggest payout, and what was it for? My biggest payout is from Roblox. I got paid $526 USD from DevX. And how did I obtain the money? It was from modeling commissions. So I did it was like accumulation of assets. Like I accumulated a lot of Robux from these modeling commissions, and I dev them out. Right now I can dev out even more than that actually. So yeah, modeling is pretty cool. And what do you think about rate topology? Well, rate topology is kind of a tedious part. It's not as fun, but it's very necessary for good modeling, especially for games, since in some game engines other than Roblox Studio, they require like strict topology. Like if you don't have good topology, it'll run really bad in the game, have terrible performance. But if you want to level up your modeling skills, then retopology you've got to be good with, or good topology. But retopologizing an entire like human model, unless it's like super like high tier, like AAA standard, or like really like they need to be really flexible, I just use automatic retopology. Just auto retop my model. Or maybe I just simply just kind of do the retopology, but not really well. Or I just don't. I don't retopologize. I just cut the faces and stuff and call it a day, since it takes so long to retopologize. But topology and the flow of like faces and stuff are very important if you're trying to improve your modeling skills. And I think that's all for the questions. If you guys want to ask more questions, just go in the link in the description, join the Discord server, and just ask away. Ask away. I mean, don't be afraid. You know, I'll answer every single question to the best of my ability. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Peace.